Good afternoon and welcome to High Street in Queanbeyan, the home of the Hahn Australia Cup qualifying finalists. And there would have been very few people around this ground and around Canberra who would have thought I would be saying that come this Saturday morning. Blustery day here in Queanbeyan, but the skies are blue and the sun is out, and considering the week we've had in Canberra where the rain has poured down and paid post to most of the games that are going on this afternoon around Canberra. Complete washout in terms of community and junior football. We're glad to get some football at all. My name is Russ Gibbs. Frank Keisha is with me here. Frank, first of all, welcome along to High Street. Great to get a game of football in.
Yeah, Russ, and the pitch actually looks really good from here. I haven't been able to get on, both teams are warming up, but credit to Queanbeyan City and Monero and their councils for allowing the games to go on and obviously being proactive, both clubs, to push for the games to progress.
Yeah, this one of three matches that is going ahead today. O'Connor Knights versus Ugali has been switched from O'Connor Enclosed to Hawker Football Centre so they can play on the AstroTurf, so Ugali do not have a wasted trip into Canberra. This one, of course, this afternoon, a repeat of Tuesday night's semi-final. And, of course, later on 5:45, I'll take a short stroll to our right and Strider Park. 5:45 kickoff for Panthers versus Gunners. Tomorrow, Deakin Stadium, assuming there's no more rain, which I don't think there will be, is looking set fair for the repeat of Wednesday's semi-final as Tuggeranong United play Canberra, Croatia. First of all, Frank, Tuesday night, Queanbeyan City Tigers, South Jerrabomba Regional Sporting Complex. Many turned up expecting the Tigers to win. There was hundreds there in Queanbeyan City colours, though, hoping for a cup set, and they got one.
Yeah, and how often do we say it, you know, the magic of the cup, and Tuesday was another example. I guess Mitch Stevens probably was hoping for something similar on Wednesday, but they got a very rude shock. I think there's a very big shadow hanging over the competition at the moment in the form of Canberra, Croatia, who are looming very, very large. But look, I think all credit to Queanbeyan City for getting the result they did on the Tuesday night. That'll give Goran and the club a lot of belief. But the other thing is that they've actually been very, very good out here at High Street, Russ. Their record out here this year has been outstanding.
You've been reading my notes?
No, I do my homework.
Yeah, they have. They've had a great result here. They're unbeaten in the last 4 matches in all competitions overall. And here, well, they drew 1-1 with Ugali in round 1, 0-0 in round 2 with Gungahlin. They had a 2-1 win over Monero Panthers and a 1-1 draw with Tuggeranong. So unbeaten at Fortress High Street. They got off to a great start on Tuesday. Nico Abbott scored after 80 seconds to give them the lead. How important was that in a cup tie against a team in which many expected to be the better of the two?
Oh, it always is. I mean, look, you're never gonna complain about scoring. So I think for Goran and the boys here in red, there was a massive shot in the arm. And again, a lot of it comes down to belief. But I mean, as this season progressed, and I think the more and more that this side is believing that that they're capable of not just of staying up, but they're capable of actually, maybe even competing and knocking on the door for that final four.
Let's have a look at the league table as we stand. Croatia 15 points from 6 games, top of the pile. Tigers come next, 14 from 7. Panthers 12 from 6. Tuggeranong 7 from 6. Queanbeyan 6 from 6. Ugali 5 from 7. Gungahlin 5 from 6. And O'Connor 4 from 6 at the moment. So that game between O'Connor and Ugali big this afternoon as well. A Tigers win puts them top of the pile ahead of Croatia's game tomorrow, and would be a good fill at the end of the week for them.
Yeah, I think, look, I think that's a bare minimum for the Tigers at the moment. I think coming into this week, they would have been looking at, obviously, Ugali, Queanbeyan City twice. They would have been gunning for 3 wins, without a doubt. And this is where I guess Ali, Effie, the Tigers coach, will get frustrated, is around the consistency of the Tigers so far this year. They looked superb in patches. They've gone and beaten Canberra, Croatia, when probably no one expected them to. And then they go on, obviously you got to give credit to Queanbeyan City, but Tigers would have been expecting to get through that game on Tuesday night and appear in a final and give themselves a chance to win another trophy.
So how much of an impact does Tuesday night have on Saturday afternoon?
Oh, look, I honestly expect a big response here from the Tigers. I think, if they'll really set their stall up, and I think their first 15 minutes, if I was their coach, I'd be asking for that to be their best 15 minutes of the season and then launch from there. But I would want to see a response from the very start of this game. Obviously, Tuesday night's a training night for us, so by the time we started training, I think Tigers were 1-0 down. By the time I got home after training, it was 2-2 and we were going into extra time, so I missed the majority of the game. Caught bits and pieces, but it looked pretty fiery as well, that last little bit. There was a bit of niggle coming into it. The crowd got involved. Unfortunately, and I know you'll go through the teams in a second, the pantomime villain of the piece, probably Archie McGregor, who shushed the crowd after the penalty he scored, isn't here. But I think Tigers really need to respond and in a big way.
He's one of numerous players who aren't here. Sam Whittier went through a fitness test earlier today, out injured. Marko Milutinovic not available. Tomohiro Ogawa suspended. Augustin Bangura injured. Thomas Milicevic long-term injury. And Archie McGregor, well, I understand he's got food poisoning or something of the ilk.
Some very big names missing.
Yeah, six players there. And also, another one to mention, William Lejeune on the bench, replaced by Gabe Tarazi, the young teenage goalkeeper.
Yeah, so I'd imagine, unless he's being rested, that's tactical. So it's a big call, but at the same time, I think he's got an able deputy there with Tarazi. He's a very good goalkeeper.
Well, we'll go through those teams in just a moment, and I'm just going to have a quick flick through to see what's happening over the other games, because I can give you a couple of results. And I did say Thomas Milicevic, because I was talking about him down at Melbourne City, sitting on the bench. I meant Joshua, of course. I saw him here today. He's not too far away.
And it's Samson card, not Seamus card.
Yeah, I know, got that, Samson. Definitely got Samson. Got that, but down now I've done that. Got that out of my system. Got that definitely got that one out of my system for the week. O'Connor versus Ugali today. We'll keep you across that one. Let's have a look at the sides, Frank, while they get ready to join us. Queanbeyan City do make a couple of changes from the side that won that cup tie in the week. One of them perhaps a little bit of a surprise. Nick Middleton starts in goal, the hero and the villain at the same time, wasn't he? Dropped that one in from a free kick from Shandon Whitehead, then redeemed himself with an incredible penalty save from Nathan Medjic to help his team go through. The back four sees Jack Leverett at right back. Noah van der Poel is named as a left back in place of Gabriel Ayul, who drops to the bench. Naul Guerrero, who struck home the winning penalty with the confidence you'd expect of a player of that ilk, alongside Christian Tokic's formidable central defensive partnership. The midfield two in front of them says Takuyu Miyabiashi, who seems to be relishing playing with this Queanbeyan City team, getting better every day, alongside Marko Savkovic, the heartbeat of this Queanbeyan City outfit. We're expecting Daniel Roberts to play just in front of him, the owner of the Red Baron Cafe. I said I'd get that in for him too, and I need to get that in a little bit later on as well. Over in Simonston, getting the chance to go and visit. Up top, Thomas Blazewski on the right. He scored the equalising goal in the cup tie. Mishko Namoski, 303rd NPL game on the left. Nico Abbott, who opened the scoring in the cup and has 3 goals to his name this season. On the bench, young Owen Stevenson, Gabriel Ayul, Sam Abba, who just scored twice in the under-23s 4-2 loss to the Tigers, Charlie Ray and Michael Galich. So any surprises for you there?
Yeah, I mean, the one that stood out for me, having known Noah for years as a junior and coach him as a junior, to see him lining up at left back, I'll be interested to see if he actually does line up there. The rest of it pretty much picks itself, I'd imagine, Russ. I think even if they do make a couple of changes here or there, Queanbeyan City have established a pretty stable group of players, you know, the stable core of, say, 14, 15 players that'll pretty much be on that match sheet every week, and then you just sort of tinker from there, depending on how the reserves are going.
Let's now play Tigers Guess Where Everyone's going to play, because we never know from week to week. We don't even know what the 11 is normally until about half an hour before kickoff. We will see what they've got, and they were struggling today, as I said, with injuries and unavailability. Ali Effie has picked what we believe to be something along the lines of the following. Gabe Tarazi will be in goal. The first time he will start a match for the Tigers, and only his 4th NPL appearance in his short career. Samson Carr is likely to be at right back. Noah Steinecker possibly at left back, or it might be Michael Southam, who might partner Nathan Medjic in the centre of defence. We will see how that back four potentially lines up. We expect Shandon White and Angus Pitkin to be the midfield enforcers. Nick Popovic is likely to play as a 10, perhaps, in front of those. Up top, William Akio, Nikos Kalfas and Nick Taneski. Likely to be Kalfas and Akio wide, Taneski down the middle, but we won't know until kick-off. On the bench, Angus Bailey, Angus Wells, William Lejeune, and 2 youngsters, Elliot Alberto and Cooper Higney, who also scored twice in the Tigers under-23 game just prior to this one. Frank, do we think we've got the lineup slightly how it's going to be?
I think you've taken a really good guess at it, Russ. I'll be interested to see if Popper does play at 10. Look, he's capable of playing there, just whether or not you're sort of robbing Peter to pay Paul. You know, you take him out of that 9 position and you... and no disrespect to anyone else that plays in that role, he's a constant handful up in that front line. If he's dropping a little bit deeper, probably gets on the ball maybe a little bit more, but is he nullifying the ability that he has to drop between the lines by playing in a 10 role?
Steinecker fullback, Southam centre-back, or Steinecker centre-back, Southam fullback?
I wouldn't be surprised if Southam and Steinecker do fill the fullback roles. Medjic will obviously be a centre-back by the looks of things. I mean, they've both been playing fullbacks. The last week when we commentated when they played Ugali, I think Michael Southam played right back and Steinecker played left back. And when they did really look really good was when those fullbacks started overlapping and getting the ball into the box. But
with the introduction of Samson Carr,
correct,
it's going to be because he will be a natural fullback.
If Samson Carr comes in, then I'll be surprised. I'd probably go Michael Southam into a centre back role next to Medjic.
We'll see what happens there, but plenty of. And then the other question up top: Akio, Taneski, Kalfas in that order. In that 2 wide players, Akio and Kalfas.
I think
the natural 9 there. Or the unnatural player playing 9?
Yeah, look, I think Kalfas will take up a spot on the right. That's his spot. I mean, even when we did the Tigers game versus Gungahlin, Akio dropped into a 10 role. The Ogawa being out is a big loss for Tigers. So, and I know he's not a 10, but he's been deployed in the midfield and couple of different sort of roles. I wouldn't be surprised if Akio actually starts at 10 and
Popper plays 9.
Popper plays 9 and Taneski plays out wide, but that's an opinion. I mean, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
But Frank, what is noticeable is the quality of the team. I'll just go through the officials first. Giorgio Girardello is the referee, brilliant referee. Can't ask for anyone better in the middle. Cameron Wallace and Casey Fleal are the assistants. What does bounce out at me straight from that lineup from the Tigers is, even though you're without those 6, Whittier, Ogo and Milicevic, Milutinovic, Bangura and McGregor, it's still a really good team.
100%, Ross, and I think, and this is where I think Ali will get frustrated, is that he knows he's got the team that can compete at the highest level here in Canberra, and even take it into an FFA Cup or, you know, a round of 32 and be competitive. I think that's where his frustration will come from, is that he knows that, you know, that was a missed opportunity on the Tuesday night to really stamp themselves. It looks like I don't know if this is how they're going to line up, but you've got Kalfas almost at 9, Akio on the left, and Popper at 9. So I don't think that's how they'll. That might be how they start in the kickoff, but I think that's just maybe how they're going to set up a bit more defensively. But
it does look Steinacker at left back and Carr at right back, and it does appear that it might be Southam joined by Magic defensively.
And if I can, Russ, I know it's all these games have been called off, so there's all these frustrated coaches at home doing chores that they might normally do on the weekend. A big shout out to Angelo Zaris, who said he's going to be stuck in a roof somewhere doing things. But
I can tell you already there's been a goal at Hawker. 2 minutes in, O'Connor Knights 0, Ugali 1. Ugali off and running in the first couple of minutes. I'll bring you that news of that goal scorer as soon as I get it. But what a start for Ugali over at Hawker. The rerun of the Cup semi-final is with us here. Who will win the league game between the two?
Yeah, Southam's taken up the centre role. Tedeschi's gone to 10, and Popovic is out on the right with Kalfas through the middle by the looks of things.
I mean, it's great that you've got so many options, isn't it, from Ali Effie's point of view, that he could play anyone anywhere and he'd be all right.
Yeah.
I'm told the goal is from Jace Dotson.
He looked sharp last week. He was very good.
Looks sharp every week, doesn't he? He scored again. Flicks on by Whitehead, and here's Jack Leverett. Namoski finds Abbots. And the ball for Blazewski, and already he can get in behind here. Blazewski well covered by Steinacker. The first test for Tarazi. Does well, the young goalkeeper. Tigers are unbeaten in their last 8 matches, penalties notwithstanding, having lost the opening 2 of the 2025 season. Their form has been good.
Interesting from the get-go, Russ. Abbott dropped in between the lines, and both Southam and Magic didn't follow. They can't afford to let him get room and turn and face forward. One of them's going to have to pick up.
Already, Noah Steineck has given Gabe Tarazi a couple of back passes to deal with. Shannon Whitehead in with Miyabayashi. Marcus Southam. Sweet one out to that far side. Samson Carr, only the second start of the season for the young fullback. His 30th NPL appearance overall. 5 of Queanbeyan City's 11 goals in all competitions this season have been netted inside the opening 45 minutes. And what they have been noticeable, Frank, is that they've conceded just 4 goals in the last 4 games, having conceded 11 in the 2 prior to that, Queanbeyan City. So they've certainly shut up shop a little bit better at the back.
I think with those sort of stats, I think we've got to put a caveat on Canberra Deakin playing those sides. Because I think, 5 out of those 11 came from Deakin, didn't they?
And 6 came from O'Connor Knights, who were at bottom of the table.
So, I don't like playing the Croatian-based sides from the looks of things.
Well, unfortunately for them, they've got one in the cup final, haven't they? Miyabayashi looking for Abbots. Flag goes up against the Argentinian striker. In that cup final, we didn't get the chance really to talk about it, but Canberra-Croatia were ruthless on Wednesday.
They were very, very good.
I think they must have had 9 or 10 chances and scored 6.
Yeah, but some of their lead-up play, and having watched them throughout the year there, and even against Monero last week, I was watching that pretty closely. Yeah, they've definitely set the benchmark, haven't they?
They're great to watch as well from a neutral perspective, the way they move it around.
Oh, what I do like about them as well is that Dean's happy to throw in the younger guys. You're seeing some new blood come through the competition, which is fantastic. And he's not just relying on the stayed ready players that you normally see.
Equalising goal at Hawker. O'Connor Knights 1, Ugali 1.
We're at the wrong game, Ross.
Well, it sounds like it, doesn't it? 6 minutes gone in that one, and already a couple of goals. Again, we'll try and bring you the goal scorer if we can for that game.
I've got word that Nick Middleton pulled up a bit dusty after the game on the Tuesday night at work on the Wednesday, Russ. He's good friends with my youngest. And,
doesn't surprise me.
No.
I mean, if I'd saved a penalty to get my team to a cup final, I'd have been happy to do so as well. Equalising goal for Ugali, scored by Lukman Ahmed Shaibu. Dotson early doors, and Ahmed Shaibu not long afterwards. That's a good response, that, for O'Connor Knights, isn't it?
Yeah, they needed that because they're lacking a bit of confidence as well at the moment, aren't they?
5 minutes gone there. 1-1. keep you across that one. Then the 23s game there finished Ugali 0, O'Connor 1. Here it finished Queanbeyan 2, Tigers 4. Set piece for Nomovsky to take. Tokic up in the middle, Abbott there as well. Roberts has taken up a really nice position to the left of Mishko Nomovsky, not tracked at the moment, if he wants to try something a bit different. But he will flatten the ball in. Wasn't the best free kick. Savkovic finds Miyabiashi. Noah van der Poel is playing left back. And swinging in a decent ball towards Abbott. Too close to Tarazi, though. Happy to be in the starting lineup, I'd imagine, Noah van der Poel. 7th game of the season. Started 5 of them, but a lot further forward than he is today.
Yeah, he's been playing a lot of 10 when we've been watching him play, Russ. So I think the good thing is you've got someone like Guerrero next to him who is just going to command that back four and tell him where to go. But there you go, that's Noah getting forward there. And that might be the advantage of playing someone who likes to get, who is normally playing in advanced roles.
I'm not one usually to complain about sunshine,
but it's,
Frank,
yeah,
but off those boards, it's making it quite difficult, isn't it? Van der Poel, looking for Abbott off the sponsor boards.
It's a bit like standing next to Ian Worthington in the sun. It just reflects so much.
You're saying he's got little hair?
No, I'm just saying he's very white.
It's up towards Blazewski, a little nudge in the back. Was
got
clever.
away with it.
Yeah, it was clever, wasn't it? Just to ease Steinaker off the ball.
And
well, one back by Whitehead.
Were you telling me last week that Blazewski was a former Tigers?
He was, yeah. He was at Tigers, and they had to let him go. They couldn't get him in the squad. And I think they were talking about how it was better for him individually to get some football rather than hang around.
Yeah, I applaud that.
Here's a chance for Kalfas, and they've been played onside here by Guerrero. And he has got a hit on him, Nikos Kalfas, but it didn't have enough pace on it. And, well, I feel that Queanbeyan might have dodged one there because it was 2-on-1 momentarily. Yeah,
I mean, when Nikos gets into that sort of position, if it hits a target, it's generally in the back of the net because he does have some power in that right foot.
Yeah, to go back to the Blazewski situation, though, when you've got a squad that's got Akio, Kalfas, Taneski, Popovic, there's so many strikers in there. I think, as you say, the decision to send him out, if you like, and get some first-team football is a good one from Tigers' point of view.
It is.
And he's benefited.
Oh, look, and you know, people point at the fact, oh, well, if he scored that goal, you know, sometimes it's a win-win. You can lose a player and develop a player at the same time. So I applaud that from Tigers. And, I applaud Blazewski doing what he did on the Tuesday night. He obviously had a lot to prove, and again today he'll have a lot to prove, and he'll be out there doing the business. Well,
that's a bit harsh for Gabe Tarazi. Abbott wants a piece of it, and he might get there, and he will get there, and he'll score for Queanbeyan City again. Nico Abbott, arch poacher extraordinaire, nets off a mistake, and just like on Tuesday, it's Queanbeyan who strike first.
Yeah, it wasn't the best back pass, was it, in the world? I think Tarazi, if he had his time again, would have just probably put his foot through it. He tried to do the right thing and control it. The one thing I would say is that's very good leadership there from Nathan Magic. Straight up to the young man and put his arm around him and told him just to get on with it. We start again. But Nico Abbott, if there's ever someone that you can rely on being that poacher in the box, just that predator, that's him.
Scores again against the Tigers. 4 goals this season in all competitions for the Argentinian striker. And he is on fire at the moment. He's got 3 goals in his last 4 games in all competitions. And as you said, Frank, it was good to see Nathan Magic pop over and pick Tarazi up and then give him a back pass and see how he's going. He's giving it to Miyabiashi. Comes out for Savkovic. It was pinged back at him, wasn't it? It was a tough old one to deal with.
Too. It was around knee or so height from Pitkin, and as soon as he did it, Russ and I think we both made the comment like, oh, it hasn't done him any favours.
Hasn't at all. Young goalkeeper Gabe Tarazi, he's got plenty of games in his career to come. And there will be moments like that throughout your career. It's natural as a goalkeeper, isn't it?
Oh, look, I've been blessed with, when I've been coaching both men's and women's, that I've had excellent goalkeepers. The likes of Angelo Constantinou, Jordan Thurtell, Rory Larkin, and now I've got people like Janet King. fantastic keepers. They're all going to make that sort of mistake. But the problem is with the goalkeepers is that gets exposed and it's a goal. Doesn't mean that they're any better or worse than they were when they woke up this morning. And you know what? The good thing about these goalkeepers is, and the best ones, is they'll just front up again.
And as I was about to say, I've spoken to Gabe Tarazi a lot over the years as he's come through the ranks and gone through national youth championships, etc. Doesn't seem the kind of goalkeeper that will phase him. He understands the situation, but I tell you what, Tigers are struggling to clear here. South them away.
I think that's even then. Magic and Pitkin sort of didn't. Magic's usually quite vocal, so he'll call for a ball, but Pitkin he might be lacking a bit of confidence after that back pass as well. Hopefully he gets himself back into the game.
Blazevski from Savkovic. Back to Savkovic again. Lovely touch to get away from Whitehead. Finds Roberts. Couldn't slide rule pass for Miyabiashi, who applauded the idea. They're hunting in packs here, and they're going to steal it off Steinacker, are they? Not quite. Southam needs to just deal with this buzzing around Queanbeyan City. Leverett.
Yeah, it's great energy here from Queanbeyan City. Goran will be really, really happy.
Guerrero.
And you can just see the sliding doors moment. You know, Kalfas's shots on target. Within probably 2 minutes, we're down the other end with a mistake. And we're 1-0.
Queanbeyan City love playing here. Middleton's ball forward. Another tough one for Steinacker to deal with. Pitkin. Much like Tuesday, work to be done then for Tigers coming from behind. Again, Carr from Pitkin. And again, Van der Poel. Obviously got the nod from his central defenders to just go forward and help out when he can. Popovic.
Popovic is dropping pretty deep as an example there. He might... Akias staying very, very wide here. So it does allow someone like Van der Poel to start getting forward or lever it if the ball comes on this side.
12 minutes in, Frank. We haven't mentioned William Akio at all yet. He hasn't had a kick of the football.
No, and I think the disappointing thing, from probably the Tigers' point of view, is this is the sort of energy that you would have seen, you would have hoped that they would have brought in that first 15 minutes.
I don't want to start listing excuses for Aliyev. He doesn't want excuses, does he? But missing those players that we mentioned and players pulling out overnight with sickness and injury.
It's a nightmare. As a coach, it's an absolute nightmare. You have your plans down packed. You probably would have had the last chat with the players on Thursday night. And all it takes is, one or two to pull out, or, even one sometimes, Archie McGregor, and things change dramatically.
And I know that Ali watches these back, and if he does, he might be able to answer this question when he gets home and watches the replay. But I wonder how much notice Gabe Tarazi had that he was actually starting today. Middleton away. Be interesting to know, wouldn't it? Because if you've got a young goalkeeper, sometimes do you give them a day's notice, 2 days' notice, or is it better to just drop them in, and so they don't have to think about it?
Oh, look, I don't...
Interesting either way.
Yeah, I mean, my approach is to try to give players as much notice as possible.
Of course, we don't know whether Willem Lejeune's injured himself in the warm-up or whatever as Taneski stabs out one goalwards. I'm sure we'll get the answer. But you can hear the Queanbeyan crowd faithful again.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering if that's because his name's Taneski.
They played their part on Tuesday, Frank, to the full. They got in the heads of the Tigers players, and there was a time in the second half, I think it was, when some of the Tigers players were starting to chat back to the crowd, and that's when you know you're in their heads and you've got them.
Yeah, Michael Southam's down here, Russ.
Which is not good news.
No. And that's the last thing that Aliyev would want, is an injury or another disruption to the starting lineup.
Well, his bench has got Angus Bagley, Angus Wales, Elliot Alberto, Cooper Heagney. 3 of those yet to play a game this season. Angus Bailey's had a truncated year. But going back to Tuesday, when the crowd are getting on your back, it's hard as a player sometimes to just forget about it, isn't it? But you have to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that comes with playing at a higher level. There's more people with opinions. There's probably a bit more latitude around what they can get away with and what they can say. Not that they would have said anything out of order, but at the same time, they're going to be into you. And to be honest, if your background is Macedonian and you're not playing for the Macedonian side, then the chances are they're going to get into you even more.
We talked about the pantomime villain Archie McGregor on Tuesday, and I did mention I spoke to some of these Queanbeyan supporters, and it was very much what I thought at the time. It's not that it was Archie McGregor; it was that he was the closest one to them, and that he could hear what they were saying. And Nick Popovich swapped with him at one stage, and it was his turn to cop it then. So it wasn't aimed at Archie McGregor; it was aimed at anyone in the Tigers kit that was as closest to them that they could get in the head of. Great tackle, Miyabiashi. Leverett swat it back for Savkovic.
Well, funny story. I actually made my debut here for Olympic back 100 years ago, and and I was sort of playing it. I was just playing down in this corner right back, Russ. I'll tell you, like the crowd was pretty close.
Did they let you know?
Oh, did they what? Yep.
Played here in Premier League as well. Played here in Masters one year, like on a Sunday morning, and I copped it.
Yeah.
10:30 on a Sunday morning, and they're out in their numbers.
The difference is you probably deserved it.
Oh, mate. I won't tell you. I won't tell you of the 7 goals I scored that day. That quieted them down a little bit.
I still would have got in
a 7-4 win.
I still have got in.
Look, at the end of the day, I came off the pitch at the end of the game, and they gave me a beer and a rakia, and said thanks for coming. Because that's the
better than what I got.
That's because they didn't like you, Frank.
That's right.
Tried to sign me later. Taneski's ball over the top. Akio switched wings to try and get involved.
Yeah.
And Noah Van der Poel
That's
has
a very
taken
good
off his
ball.
toe.
That's a very good ball, and well dealt with, I guess, with Noah there, and he wouldn't have known what was coming behind him. Oh, it's actually been called offside, so even better result for Queanbeyan.
I was about to say quarter of an hour in, and this is the first corner that Tigers have managed to force, but you know what? It's not.
Did that look offside to you?
It didn't.
No.
Which is why I'm surprised and didn't even mention it at the time. William Akio, though, switch wings. He's not had a kick of the football in quarter of an hour. And we saw how good he was in that game earlier in the season when he bagged himself a hat-trick. We thought he was back to his best against Queanbeyan United. Struck 4 wonderful goals. Mind you, 8 of the Tigers' last 16 goals have been scored past the 80th minute of the match. So they've been a late finishing team rather than one that starts well.
Southam's up and looking okay again, which is good.
Well, none more relieved than Ali Effie, who once again, sartorially, has dressed himself immaculately for this occasion. Got to up your game, Frank, for when you're coaching.
You don't come watch my games anymore, Russ.
Well, funny you should mention that, because it's a great segue to next Sunday. I'll be at O'Connor Enclosed for Canberra Olympic versus Belconnen United. I will see you there, and I'll expect you in a full suit.
Yeah.
Going to be disappointed, aren't I?
Yeah, expectations and reality, Russ, is 2 different things.
Taneski wide to Samson Carr. Ball out wide to Akio into the middle, deflected off Guerrero. Will settle. This time it will be a corner.
Just starting to ease their way into the game now, Tigers, aren't they? Just starting to get on top a little bit in midfield. Taneski's starting to get more of the ball, which is very, which would be productive for Tigers. And now they throw the tall timber up. Surprised Carr's dropping back. I thought he might be one of the targets.
He's been tasked with sitting in front of Nico Abbott. Nick Taneski to take. Tigers seeking a way back into the contest. The swirling outfield ball. Southam was the target. It's come off Guerrero. Shandon Whitehead. Taneski into the middle. Akio got a touchdown, but there's no one in a purple shirt. And that's a knock for Christian Tokic, I think.
It's a bit blustery out here, though, Russ, isn't it? Just trying to work out which way the wind is actually going.
It's not obvious, is it?
No, it sort of just swirls around a fair bit. Because even that, you could see like they got held up a fair bit.
Well, it's quite sheltered over on that far side by that bank of trees and shrubs and everything that's behind the fence. But when you get it above certain height,
yeah, you can see the trees just behind the coach's box. They're really they're moving quite a bit.
And yet we're at a decent height over where we are, and it's not particularly blusty over this side, is it?
No.
Now, there's interesting, there's a knock here for Tokic on the head. It looks like it's a head knock, some description. Can remind you that overall, Hawker, 2 early goals. O'Connor Knights 1, Ugali 1. Jace Dotson gave Ugali the lead. Lukman Ahmed Shaibu equalised for O'Connor, which means O'Connor will be on 5 points, Ugali will be on 6, and Queanbeyan will be bottom of the table if it stayed as is. At the moment, Queanbeyan City are into the top 4 with a 1-0 advantage. the old as it stands table.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just wondering. Last year we were looking at Canberra Olympic down towards the bottom of the table, and there's a lot of talk about it. There hasn't been too much chat about Gungahlin.
No.
Last year's champions now sitting at the bottom of the table.
They can change that tonight, though, at 5:45, should they manage to get a result against Monero Panthers, which is only one team has managed to, or two teams, sorry, have managed to do this year. I keep forgetting that Queanbeyan City turned them over in the Clearwaters Derby here, didn't they?
But you ask anyone in that canteen, anywhere near that canteen.
I'm not a betting man at all, but I did ask a couple of the people that are floating around here today, because they were talking about odds for this game today, for which, for example, Queanbeyan paying $5.25 to win this one.
Really?
Yeah, they were paying $25 to win that game against Monero Panthers in a two-horse race here.
That's pretty criminal
And
in the derby.
I do know a Queanbeyan City supporter who did get on it, and because it's a derby and you're going to put something on your team, and had a good night after that.
Wouldn't take much.
No.
$10 and you're away for a fancy dinner, really.
Absolutely. Anyway, like I say, we don't condone all that kind of thing, but that just say how much of an upset.
Part of life now, isn't it?
Upset. How much of an upset it was than with a team in a
That's
two-horse
lovely
race.
play.
Taneski, Whitehead, Kalfas is in. Real chance for 1-1. Great save, Middleton. Danger still not averted. Kalfas again, and Van der Poel and Nick Middleton carries on where he left off from Tuesday's heroics. Dusty he may have been Wednesday, but he's shaken off the cobwebs. Good stop.
That would have been one of the better team goals I would have seen all year, Russ. That was build-up was brilliant, just all one-touch stuff. Unfortunate for Kalfas that he had to wait for it to get from beneath his feet before he could take that strike. But very well saved there from Nick Middleton with his feet.
Was expecting to call 1-1 when Kalfas got that in front of goal. Here's Taneski. It's come off of Van der Poel. It's actually going to work out better. Nomoski only half away. Carr, Megic, Blazewski with him. Back for Pitkin. Or for Whitehead, rather, who's gone for goal and, well, hits the fence behind. But that was a great stop from Middleton.
Yeah, very good. Very, very good. And we were talking about goalkeepers earlier. We've always got good goalkeepers coming through Canberra, and now Nick Middleton's one of these ones that is starting to stick his hand up as one of the better ones.
Did have his moment on Tuesday, didn't he, when he dropped the Shannon Whitehead free kick. I did ask him about it, as you would, this morning, when he came in for the match today, and he said he just lost it. He thought he was further back, and he thought it was well over the bar. And then, of course, he went to palm it up and realised, oh, hang on. Not quite where I thought I was positioned. All's well that ended well, though, for Nick Middleton.
It was a very good save for the penalty.
Judging by what you said, I'm not sure when it ended for Nick Middleton.
No, but it was a very good save. And, and look, unfortunate for Nathan Megic.
It was a good penalty. It was hit with some power.
Yeah,
it was
probably
reasonable height.
It was a height that probably got it. If that's roof of the net or bottom of the corner, in that bottom corner, it goes in. But again, I will never have a go at someone for missing a pen. They've got the bottle to actually stand up and take it.
Nicholas Kalfas wide for Akio. Offside again. I can reveal, in case you care, that Shandon Whitehead was supposed to be last up for Tigers, but didn't get the chance.
It's always a tricky one. I like one of my better ones, better penalty takers taking the first pen. And then obviously you want someone to close it off at the end, but you don't want to get in the position where your best penalty taker doesn't actually take one because it doesn't get to that fifth penalty.
Well, you can see how bad the wind is there for Middleton. It's just held up for him. Popovic,
that's well
seen
defended.
off by Christian Tokic, who looks like a 1980s tennis player at the moment with one of those headbands
Terry
on.
Butcher, Rouse.
I was thinking more like John McEnroe or
Ricky Villa.
or more of an Andre Agassi or something like that in the early 90s. There was a very famous Brighton and Hove Albion centre-back who had a sweatband on like that, Steve Foster. Bandage on the head of Tokic.
There's a break here.
The knock. Here goes Abbots, who scored the goal. Mishka Nomoski's made a good run forward, but that's charged down by Carr. But again, second time's a charm. Nomoski's peeled back from an offside position. Flag goes up. You just tuned in. Well, Nick Popovic is down now in backfield, Frank. And he wants to come off. He has signalled to the bench that his afternoon is done in 25 minutes. And Tigers' lengthy absentee list is about to get a bit bigger.
Just wondering if that's a quad, the way Nick's pointing at his leg and the way he's moving.
Well, not ideal for Nick Popovic. Who's going to be summoned from the bench? It's probably
Bailey.
Angus Bailey.
Yeah, and he'll go into midfield, and Tedeschi's moving forward.
Well, not what Ali Effie would have wanted.
It's always the way, though, isn't it? You get one injury, you get two, all of a sudden you got a raft of players that are missing.
Kalfas has gone to 9. Tedeschi left-hand side, and as Frank says, Bailey into 10. Don't lose anything in terms of positional play, because you can slot Bailey in and everyone just rotates around, but Nick Popovic's drive and quality. Angus Bailey was under an injury cloud as well, so I'm not sure how well he's going. I'm assuming he's obviously well enough to play, because he's there. Akio. Somehow it stayed in. Well, hopefully Nick Popovic is not long-term. He's not the kind of player to take himself off if he was only half struggling, is he?
Yeah, you just worry if it's a quad, you're generally looking at a few weeks. If that's what it is.
Oh, Guerrero brings down Akio. Advantage played. Kalfas. Now Akio has felt that as well, because Kalfas is just going to roll it out of play. Monero Panthers at home next for Tigers. The Battle of the Big Cats next week.
And you could see Tigers' momentum building throughout the season, and they would have been looking at that Monero game and really trying to right a wrong from round one. Now with all these injuries, I think they're almost they won't be looking forward to that.
Get a week off after that, though. Unfortunately for them, they wouldn't have wanted a week off, but it's Cup Final Saturday the 7th of June. Canberra Croatia versus Belconnen United at 12:30 in the Women's Federation Cup. 3:30 Queanbeyan City, Canberra Croatia for a place on the national stage in the round of 32. McKellar Park is your venue. All the details around that will be out this week. Guerrero, Roberts, Savkovic forward, Van der Poel. It's not a bad ball in as well. Abbott flag goes up. So while the ball is with the goalkeeper, I'll just mention Daniel Roberts' cafe, because he did send me a message in the week and he goes, I want some of that free advertising that Colportado and Sparrow get. So I didn't know that Daniel Roberts had a cafe, but he does over in Simonston, Red Baron Cafe. He sent me the menu. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
If you're in the area, get yourself over there.
Well, I remember I was working in Barton for a little while, and Daniel was working at one of the cafes there underneath the Attorney General's office, and he's obviously learned his craft, and he's top lad. And I'll tell you now, if I was actually going to mention him earlier, not so much for his cafe, which I'm sure is outstanding, but I'm sure he's one of the players that O'Connor are missing this year.
His footballing ability matches his cafe work.
Well, if it does, get there, because it'd be pretty good.
So there you go, Daniel. There's the lunch you promised me.
What am I getting out of this?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
I'm sure you'll get an invite as well. Nick Middleton to send it forward.
Good.
We're always happy to promote local businesses for footballers as well, aren't we?
Yeah, and I mean, you know yourself, Russ.
All Tokic in a bit of trouble. Got away with it, and Middleton will send that up towards us.
If I've got work around the house, first place I usually look is some of these players and coaches or whoever, and try to support them. You know, I've had people like Shay Wilk come and paint at my place. I've had even a couple of the girls from Olympic, Ella Brown and Elka Atoll, who come and do some landscaping, and Dee Fran come and did some moving for me.
Blazewski finds Mia Biashi, who sent it in towards Abbott. Magic got it away. He might come for Roberts. That's what it's all about, isn't it? The community looking after each other.
Good turn.
Kalfas advancing forward. stopped in his tracks. It's been another goal at Hawker Football Centre, and it's O'Connor Knights who lead by 2-1. In the 27th minute of the football match, I don't know who's scored.
I'm going to go Michael John.
I think it might have been an own goal. It took a big deflection here. You have a look, see if you can figure it out. Might have been young Galich, in fact, up from the back. Jack Leverett with a throw.
Yeah, it looks like a header from Galich into...
Just bounced off a player and went in, I think,
off a player, and DePaoli couldn't get there.
Offside again, this time against Leverett, so...
Time for the jacket, Russ.
Yeah, I think you've done well to hold out for as long as you have. The wind, the sun goes in, the wind picks up, doesn't it? So Connor Knights have turned around that one, having trailed early. Might be a first ever Premier League goal for Daniel Galich there. Angus Bailey. And won't stay in play. And for all the much vaunted attacking threat that the Tigers have got at the moment, Queanbeyan City keeping them very much at arm's length. Leverett with the throw. Taneski just preventing any further progress. And here's Nick Popovich hobbling around towards us.
A bit of a sorry sight.
Don't blame him for going in, to be honest, because if it is muscular, you want to get it warm as quick as you can.
Yeah.
Leverett again. Been a lot of offsides in this game so far.
It's been watchable, Russ. It's been decent contest.
Steinacker, Kalfas, Bailey, looking to dink it, and it might come for Akio. Van der Poel just about got dealt with it. Carr's touch was heavy. Namoski, Miyabiashi, Namoski again.
I reckon Van der Poel did really well there. Wouldn't look like too dangerous, but I reckon the sun would have been right in his eyes when that cross came in, Russ.
Got a toe on it, didn't he? And then dealt with it when it looked like it might squeeze its way through to Akio.
It was one of those ones where you could just see, him sort of shielding his eyes. There's good movement here.
Kalfas. And still. And run outside is by Carr. Delivery's not bad. Taneski swung a leg at it. Akio was there. Might have been offside if he'd turned it home. Didn't. So that is moot. Panthers Gunners tonight, 5:45 across the way. Ian Worthington will be with me. Steve Forshaw will join me at Deakin Stadium tomorrow. As Canberra, Croatia take on Tuggeranong United. Only 2 women's National Premier League games survived the weather. Kagana versus ANU will take place at Hawker.
And that'll be ANU's last game.
It will, unfortunately.
Yep. So I'm glad that they got their game rescheduled and moved to a synthetic surface for them.
West Canberra versus Belconnen.
At McKellar?
At McKellar Park, yeah, we'll be on. Unfortunately for you, Olympic Croatia postponed, and Tuggeranong Majura, the same fate. Well, fortunately for you, maybe you got the Sunday off for a change.
Yeah. Depends. I'll tell you about 3 o'clock tomorrow, depending on what the wife's got me doing.
Well, there'll be some chores that need doing, Frank. No worries. You've got to clean the pool, haven't you, for the winter?
It's funny you say that. Yeah. Old mate Anthony Paragali, who's probably laid up on the couch with a bad back because he did his back at the gym yesterday, was just asking me who cleans the pool.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. It'll be you tomorrow.
Yeah, chances are no, but...
You got 2 children for that, haven't you?
Yeah, but they're never there. And I'll tell you.
Leverett into the middle. Abbott's peeled off nicely. It's going to make its way through to Namoski. And he can pull it back for Roberts. And that's a timely footing. It needed to be from Pitkin. Otherwise, Roberts might be getting the shot away.
They definitely look dangerous going forward, though, Queanbeyan City. And I just wonder if just a lack of sort of confidence in there from the Tigers' defence. I know they've had a few chops and changes throughout the season. Just wondering if that's affecting their stability there.
Abbott with the corner kick. Namoski's gone short, but it's going to come out instead.
Wow.
Well, I'm not sure what that was. It's supposed to be for Savkovic, and it's going to present Kalfas with the opportunity to get Taneski.
Akio's got to go. Akio had to go there.
He will chase it. Got a strapping on that thigh, isn't he? Underneath the shorts. I wonder if that's hampering him.
Kalfas
Blazevski's in. Abbott's for 2. Oh, and he saved it. There was a miss kick from Nico Abbott. What a chance that was. And Gabe Tarazi has saved himself and redeemed himself as well. That's a fine stop.
He certainly has.
He could have been done by the miss kick from Abbott, but he gathered it on the turf.
It all came from a really poorly taken corner there from Queanbeyan City. Went straight to Kalfas. Kalfas played a ball into Taneski, but that's when Akio needed to get on the shoulder of Leverett and make it a foot race, but he never really exploded into that space. Once Leverett got it, then the break happened down the other end, and yeah, Abbott was odds on to score there.
I'm watching William Akio, the way he's walking. I'm not convinced that he's 100% in terms of his sprinting ability. Because you watch when he runs, he's got a strapping on that right thigh. And I'm wondering whether that is hampering him a bit. Steinaker back for Southam. As it was, Queanbeyan should be 2 up here. Miyabiashi gets the free kick. Would it be unfair to suggest that 2-0 wouldn't be flattering?
Look, Tigers have had their chances. I mean, Kalfas had a really good chance with Nick Middleton saved, and I thought that would have been 1-1. But that, like I said, that chance that Abbott had presented, and he miskicked it, and that almost set it up for his next touch because it nearly sent Tarazi the wrong way.
Well, you would have put your house on it, wouldn't you?
Yep.
And if you did, I've got a swag you can buy. Namoski with a left-footed free kick.
Have to find local footballer that builds houses. There's a few.
There's a few around, yeah. Won't be struggling there, would you?
Right.
Namoski in. Tarazi came. They can't clear it. Abbott sliced it. Got away with
I know that's a difficult chance there for Abbott, but that's 2 chances that I think he normally would have done better with. Like even the purchase that he would have got on that, because that's the sort of player Nico Abbott is. Like,
I'm wondering whether the wind's not helped him there a bit.
Yeah.
We have seen when it goes up in the air. That's a nice touch, Taneski. Whitehead wanted a forward run, didn't get it.
I know Whitehead's complaining about who should have been running there, but that was nowhere near anyone.
He's expecting Steinaker, hasn't he? And he hadn't gone. But yeah, he would have needed to have been Usain Bolt to get on the end of that. Here's Akio, and he's found Bailey. And Akio for the return. Good challenge. Blazevski all the way back there helping out. Guerrero, Miyabiashi, and Leverett forward. That was your right-sided forward making a tackle as the last defender.
Yep. I'll tell you the other thing that was interesting just with that last patches of play, Russ. We spoke about it before when Magic and I think Pitkin almost ran into each other in the box. Tarazi and Magic nearly spoiled each other there as well. He's offside again.
Another offside, Akio, yep. Coming from an offside position. But there was some nice one-touch play in there again for Tigers, so there is a little bit of hope for Ali Effie's team. Something to keep an eye on, of course.
Geez, Russ, we've got a fair audience happening today. I've even got the wife watching because she's just messaged me saying, I know who cleans the pool. What's she doing watching?
Lena Frank was saying he's free tomorrow, so any chores you've got around the house, he's more than happy to do. That's helpful, right?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Whitehead, Kalfas, onside this time. Nikos Kalfas, is this 1-1? Nikos Kalfas,
yes,
it is.
That's some finish.
Beautifully taken from Nikos Kalfas, delayed to perfection. And Middleton is beaten, and the Tigers are back on terms through Kalfas again.
That's a finish. That's a finish of a really composed, mature player there. Just waited for Middleton to commit and then just slid it under his body. I think the one thing that really makes me happy to see Nikos Kalfas do what he's done in the last couple of weeks is I know how much work he's done to actually get back on the field after his ACL injury at the end of last season. He's working tirelessly, sort of day in, day out, running up and down hills. And we always give him a bit of stick about it in the Monero chat, but you can never replace hard work, and this guy deserves every break that he gets.
A 40th NPL goal of his career. A third of the season. He's come off the bench to score twice in his last 4 matches. 3 goals as a substitute before this season, before today. Sorry, his second league goal of the season, I should say. He got one against Ugali, didn't he?
Yep. Got the winner last week. I think he just likes me commentating on his games, Russ.
I've called all 4 of his goals this year, I think.
You're probably right. Yeah, but he likes me better.
Oh, that's true. You pick him and paid him his wages.
Yeah. Here he goes again. Oh, he got caught.
Connor Knights 3, Ugali 1. They have certainly turned that run around over at Hawker.
What's that do to O'Connor's chances around the top 4? It must be knocking on the door.
You can tell us who's got it if you can figure it out. Southam has come off the back of Whitehead.
Looks like Kresic.
Niko Kresic on target. Free kick goes here.
Big 5 minutes coming up here. Queanbeyan City seem to have the chances to get themselves 2-0 up, Russ, and now momentum's obviously shifted again.
Can confirm it was Daniel Galich with the previous goal and Niko Kresic with this one. O'Connor 3, Ugali 1. At table as we stand, Canberra Croatia have 15 points and are top. Tigers have 15 points from 8 and have played 2 games more. Monero 12, Tuggeranong 7, Queanbeyan 7, O'Connor Knights 7. And then Ugali will be 5 and Gungahlin 5.
Great run.
Sending it into the middle and Taneski arriving. Brilliant from Samson Carr. Taneski over the top. O'Connor Knights will be on -5, so if they stay as it is, they're 5th. So they've gone from bottom to 5th.
And look, that chasing pack of Tuggeranong, Queanbeyan City, O'Connor Knights and the like, they need these front 3 teams to keep on winning, because that's what keeps it tight. Because you've got daylight between 3rd and 4th, but there's just nothing between 4th and probably 7th at the moment. Even if Gungahlin actually turned it around and scored and got themselves 3 points tonight, they'd go to 7 as well, wouldn't they?
Well, they'd go to...
Aren't they on 4?
They would go to 8 because they've got 5, 2 draws. So they would go into 4th place.
There you go. That chasing pack is right up there.
Southam. Good ball forward for Taneski. Looking for Akio. Trying to dance his way through the packed Queanbeyan City defence. Surrounded by red shirts. Southam. Whitehead. Kalfas just pops it off for Magic. Oh, Georgia. Honestly.
I blame Magic.
Who would want to be a ref? Magic just picked her out. It's back with him anyway, Nathan Magic. Suddenly look a different side, the Tigers, after that goal.
Big few minutes coming up here just to make sure that they can not go in behind.
Southam finds Carr. He's enjoying himself down that flank now. Yeah. Clearance from Guerrero, only as far as Pitkin.
And it's dominant at the moment. It's just a purple wave.
Well, the whole momentum of the game has shifted after Abbott could have made it 2. And now we're at 1-1. Bailey. Carr playing almost as an auxiliary winger at the moment. Samson Carr, and enjoying life. Akio, Carr again. Went down under challenge. More in hope than expectation, I think. Namoski finds Abbott.
Oh, unlucky.
Whitehead. Akio spins away, gets the free kick. Guerrero with the foul in shooting range for Tigers, who are showing their claws. Minute plus a bit to the interval. They scored from a free kick from this kind of range on Tuesday at this kind of time through this player. Shandon Whitehead, who places it. Nick Taneski's back there with him. Can they utilise this wind to their advantage? Left foot of Whitehead, right foot of Tedeschi. Middleton setting his wall. This is far enough out that you can give this a bit of welly. You can really put your foot through this and it'll bring it down naturally. It will need a bit of power from that range. Who will provide it? It's going to be Whitehead into the wall. Tedeschi drills it through the crowd. Leverett's clearance bounces around. Savkovic prods it away. Always the same when you give a free kick, a big build-up, isn't it?
It was a bit of an anticlimax, wasn't it, Russ?
Just a little. Samson Carr back for Nathan Mejic. If anyone was going to miss the penalty on Tuesday and be, and I use this in the loosest of terms, okay about it, it's Nathan Mejic. Broad enough shoulders to wear it as a leader of this team.
Nate's been around a long time now, Russ. He's seen it all.
Akio.
Like I said, he showed some really good leadership after that first goal.
Blazewski might fancy a
I
run.
thought he had him on the inside when he...
Mejic back for Tarazi. He's coped with his own moment really well. Recovered from conceding that opening goal. Pitkin, who played his part in it, to be fair. It's half-time at O'Connor.
That's just too strong there from Nikos Kalfas.
Yeah, half-time at Hawker. O'Connor Knights 3, Ugali 1. Roberts Sabat would have been offside again.
Yeah, I've seen that ball being played a couple of times from Queanbeyan City into Abbott. He's not that player. He's not the one that gets in behind and outsprints the defender.
Nice touch from Whitehead. Roberts in with the tackle. Blazewski comes to help. Asked too much of Namoski. Carr took over and runs into the red wave. Miyabiashi, Savkovic, Roberts. Always left it short. Tedeschi will fancy this. Loves these positions. Can't bundle his way through. And in the end, it's a goal kick. I think it should be a free kick, potentially. But Nick Tedeschi almost made Queanbeyan pay.
Yeah, I don't think he could have... I was just sort of going through my head wondering if he could have taken a strike as soon as he turned inside against Tokic, but I think it was pretty well defended. I don't think he had much opportunity there, but big end to that first half from Tigers, Russ. They definitely got on top in that last 10, 15 minutes. Queanbeyan City did really well in that first 10 minutes and pretty much set their stall up and brought the energy that I expected Tigers to bring. But Tigers have come straight back into the game. Look, I think they've been cruelled by injuries, and I think that another loss of Nick Popovic really hurts them a fair bit. Just having a look at Tokic down here, he's got blood splattered all over his face. It's a brave effort from him to continue and keep going, but I think this is set up beautifully for a great second half.
Well, we will see which way it goes. The repeat of the Cup semi-final on Tuesday at half-time. It's all square. Nico Abbott gave Queanbeyan City the lead in 8 minutes. Nikos Kalfas equalised for Tigers after 39, which means to the break here, High Street, Queanbeyan City 1, Tigers FC 1. Welcome back to High Street in Queanbeyan, where at half-time it's Queanbeyan City 1, Tigers FC 1. The goal from Nico Abbott's. No assist officially, Frank Keisha. The goal from Nikos Kalpas, assisted by Shandon Whitehead. It's one apiece here. I'm Russ Gibbs, Frank Keisha's with me. Over at O'Connor, not O'Connor anymore, Hawker Football Centre. Connor Knights 3, Ugali 1. Jace Dotson in the second minute off a Robbie Rimmer throw. Equalised by Lukman Ahmed Shaibu after 5 minutes. 27 minutes, Daniel Galic header off a Niko Kresic corner. He's had 2 assists, Niko Kresic, and then he got a goal himself, created by Fakedi Manda. So 3-1 at half-time to O'Connor Knights.
2 changes by the looks of things in Tigers, 33 and 37 on Ross.
What changes? The young boys, Elliot Alberto and Cooper Heagney, are coming on.
Like Akio's off, and may even be Kalfas.
Well, Akio is not surprising. I don't think he's 100%. Cooper Heagney will play on the right-hand side of the front three. It does look like Kalfas, doesn't it?
Yep.
But I tell you what, he has been in some form, Heagney. He scored twice in the reserves of the 23s earlier. Played nearly 90 minutes there, I think, actually, Frank.
Yeah, right.
And he might have around about, I think he's got now 10 goals this season in the 23s, which is not a bad return. Former Canberra Olympic winger, you may remember him from a few years back, from the COVID seasons where we played end-of-season bottom 4 series over at the Riverside Stadium. And Robbie Catanach was one that gave him a gig first up. Here he is, playing for Tigers on debut in these colours. Elliot Alberto, another former Canberra Olympic player. Might remember him as well, Frank, from back in the day. He's played a couple of games in the 23s. This is his first start of any club in first grade football, or first appearance. So he'll go down the middle.
And good luck to both those young men. Always something to look back on fondly. Your first grade debut.
Change for Queanbeyan City as well. Charlie Ray is on. Looks like Daniel Roberts has come off.
Yeah, he looked like he might have copped one towards the back end of that half for us.
And so Charlie Ray into midfield. Another young talent. This will be his 6th game of the season. 3rd time he's come off the bench. So 3 changes at half-time, 2 for Tigers. I wonder how Ali Effie's feeling, and he's hoping it's not an injury to those 2. To add to the very lengthy list of losing Popovic. Blazewski. A reminder that they came in today without Whittier, Ogo and Milicevic, Milutinovic, Bangura, McGregor. And Nick Popovic joined that list, and now potentially Akio and Kalfas. Ali Effie might need to get his boots out himself for next weekend if this carries on. So you'd hope that they're perhaps precautionary changes.
I think some clubs will be looking at this June transfer window and seeing Tigers with all these injuries and
worrying.
Yes.
Maybe actually Abbott couldn't send it through.
They do have some clout in the market.
Savkovic. Nice idea. You could see what was in his mind. Yep. His eyes lit up. I don't know what it is about these goals here at Queanbeyan, but they look massive. I don't know if it's just me, but they do look big in comparison to some of the other goals I see else around. I mean, it might just be the angle we're stood at, of course. Or is it just me?
I think it might be you, Ross.
Well, I mean, as a striker, every goal looks massive.
I just had some word about young Ray. Apparently very hard-working, played at Belconnen last year.
I've seen him a lot in the Tigers colours, in the Queanbeyan colours, and he's looked very good every time I've seen him on there. They don't lose anything. He is like a mini clone of a Daniel Roberts kind of player. Box to box, full of energy.
Could do far worse than pick someone like Daniel Roberts.
Maybe Ashley goes down, free kick given. He plays in a very similar style to Roberts.
Be very interested in the thoughts of both coaches right now. Ali, I'm 100% convinced would have come in expecting 3 points and a response.
In towards Abbott at the near post. Miskicked it again. Namovsky's got there. And Misko Namovsky couldn't squeeze it under Tarazi. Another presentable chance for Queanbeyan City.
They're going to rue these chances, I think, Queanbeyan City at the moment. But that's a very good chance there for Namoski. And again, surprising that Nico Abbott missed his attempt.
Good touch by Bailey. Whitehead spinning away and sliding it through.
Had to be a straight ball they could run onto, I reckon, there, Russ.
Almost got Heagney in.
Yeah.
Abbott might be in.
Oh, and he was on.
Southam stretched the leg. Opened up a bit here. Leverett across to Taneski.
But, I mean, I was just going back to the point I was making before. You know, would Goran be happy if this finishes 1-1? Would Ali Effie be happy, considering all the injuries, if he walked away with a point?
I'm not sure how many points Tigers can afford to drop if they want to finish top of the pile.
Oh, a bit in that.
It was a little bit, wasn't it?
Yep. I think the first challenge was the one that sparked the reaction from Noah Steinacker. Brzezinski basically launched himself in the air just in front of that header, and I don't think Noah thought that was all okay.
Lukman Ahmed Shaibu's got his seconds. Savkovic with a drive.
Hit that well too.
Good block and away. Might have done himself a disservice.
That's really good refereeing there, Georgia. Girardello. She's been really good all game. She waits to see what the next phase of play brings before she decides to make the call on the free kick. But that one she's got perfectly right. I tell you what, Savkovic really caught a piece of that one. It was a good block.
Second goal, as I said, for Lukman Ahmed Shaibu. O'Connor Knights 4, Ugali 1. O'Connor Knights look like they're going to win their second game of the season. Abbots 6-0 and 4-1. They've won their 2 games so far. Ray, Abbots, Southam away.
Started this half very, very well, Queanbeyan City.
Nibiashi in with Steinacker. Come away with it somehow, the Japanese midfielder. Leverett, Blazewski. Taking on Southam, who stands strong. Pick into clear. Picks the ball for Carr. Very youthful look to this Tigers team now. With the introduction of the young boys off the bench. Here's one of them, Cooper Heagney. Full of confidence at the moment, and he's found Elliot Alberto up against Van der Poel. Wasn't a bad cutback. Nobody in a purple shirt gambled to be in that position, though.
End-to-end moment. Oh,
and that's a silly challenge. Elliot Alberto is going to get a yellow card. Welcome to Premier League for him. Put one on Noah Van der Poel there.
No need.
Well, I'm sure Ali Effie told him to go and put himself about, but not quite in that manner, perhaps.
You can put it down to the exuberance of youth, I guess, Russ.
But on debut...
But now he's got to walk a tightrope for the next 38-odd minutes.
Well, for those of you that watched the game when Monero Panthers were here,
yep,
a couple of weeks ago, Giuseppe Tyne came on, and his first one was a bit like that.
Oh, he can have this.
Taneski didn't give it. He's backing himself, Nick Taneski, and he's not going to get away from Christian Sokic. He
could have actually shot. He would have had that in his locker, that he would have, you know, Middleton was right, because he was the one that took the free kick.
Yeah, Tyne came on. Exuberance of youth, as you say. Got a yellow card and then a second. Namoski. Ray lets it run. Miyabiashi to send it for Abbott, who's onside. Flag stays down. Nico Abbott's touch was too heavy. And again, another presentable chance for Nico Abbott's, who might have had a hat-trick today.
He probably could have. That was...
He stayed down. He's picked himself up now. But what a chance that was. The touch was just too heavy. I think he may have been offside from our vantage point.
I thought he timed his run really well, but I was just surprised that his touch into the box basically came off his knee and just took it straight into Tarazi's path, who was brave coming out. You can hear some of the crowd asking for a penalty. It was never a penalty.
Never a penalty. No, good goalkeeping. I mean, once the touch was heavy, it made Tarazi's mind up, didn't it?
It did.
any half-decent touch from Nico Abbott, and he's scoring.
That's a couple of times this half he's actually got in good positions. Once when Savkovic had his shot, and that one there.
Well, you said it a couple of minutes ago. They might rue those moments. And there's been plenty of them. Leverett lifts it into the area. Megic wins it. Only as far as Savkovic. Good start to the second half for the home team. Almost constant pressure. Blazewski
in the sun.
Looking for Leverett. Alberto back to do some defensive work. Southam.
Good turn.
And that's a foul by Miyabiashi. Very good turn.
Yeah, close to yellow, that one. Well, yeah, she actually got it.
Close to the yellow? Can't get much closer because they actually got one out. You refereeing this game, Frank, or is Georgia?
No.
I think it's probably a yellow, wasn't it? Yeah. An apology. Lovely turn, though, from Whitehead. Good left back, Shandon Whitehead, but they played him in this midfield holding role, if you like. And he's done a good job there too. Southam forward, Taneski's touch. Steinecker got involved. Alberto out for Taneski. Will take on Tokic and get past him. Savkovic doing the cleaning up duties. Nemoski.
Nice.
And swept out towards here. Good defending by Samson Carr. Here's Carr again. It's a good touch for Heagney. And he'll have a run. Guerrero with a challenge. Now will Guerrero on the defensive work? How calm was he when the moment mattered on Tuesday night with the final penalty? Never looked like missing, did he?
No, when he I was watching it at home, and when he stepped up, I thought, well, that's it. It's over.
Every single penalty taker for Queanbeyan City, even young Thomas Blazewski, looked extremely confident.
That's well done from Southam.
He's left it for Alberto, and the ball is for Heagney. Good goalkeeping, simple enough. Middleton came out to meet it. It's come off Southam. Miyabiashi. Southam again. Queanbeyan, much like Tuesday, sense there's something here for them, don't they?
Looks like it, yeah. They've definitely stood up. But I think the introduction of these young guys, bit of difference, point of difference, bit of pace. They obviously combine really well together, these two young players.
Well, I'd imagine in all this planning that Goran Jozefovski has done,
he wouldn't have planned for that.
No, Elliot Alberto and Cooper Heagney probably weren't in the lists, mainly because, but for a truckload of injuries and unavailability, they probably wouldn't be this high up the pecking order at the moment. Although, given their performances in the under-23s, maybe they should be. Whitehead, good challenge, comes out for Megic, and it might come for Heagney, who delivers it into the side netting.
Yeah, and even the two centre-backs, I mean, they would have been, if they're video watchers, they would have been concentrating on people like Popovic, McGregor, Kalfas, Akio. I don't think they would have seen many of the 23s games where you got Alberto and Heagney running at them.
And anybody who takes a passing interest in the grades below first grade would have heard the name Cooper Heagney this year, because we have mentioned him a lot in wrap-ups because he scores every single week, near enough. He is more of a winger as an attacker rather than an out-and-out striker. The goal he scored in the under-23s this morning, prime example of the way he drifted in behind the defence, took his touch and finished with aplomb. Taneski, from this kind of angle where he likes to do his best work. Here he is again, taking on Van der Poel, who sticks to it as well and gets the corner kick. Tigers, for as much as they've been on the back foot for most of this second half, I have to remember it's still 1-1.
Yeah, and I can see Noah Van der Poel having a chat to the ref around a fair handful of shirt that Hegney had on young Noah.
Yeah, just on the blind side of the officials.
Yeah.
Nick Tedeschi wants a football, otherwise he can't do much corner taking.
There's one here on halfway.
Well, he's just going, look at that little kid. Good work.
Done well.
Good arm as well, to be fair.
Over the fence.
Yeah. Do you know what? My first one would have hit the top, for sure.
You would have been in the car with the ball.
Down the road.
Going to drive-through at Macca's.
KFC, mate.
Oh,
Please.
sorry.
No, Red Baron Cafe. We're all about that today. Nick Tedeschi into the near post. Good corner, that. Might come from Magic. Had a bit of a swing, didn't get enough on it. Now Leverett might be able to bring it forward.
Vanderpoel's in a good spot here.
Here's
if
Abbott.
he switches.
We're going to slide it for Blazewski, who's quick. Blazewski, Samson Carr is equally as quick and concedes the corner, one end to the other, Queanbeyan City. Gabriel Ayul out and warming up for the hosts. Almost reached the quarter-hour mark of the second half. Second half, which Queanbeyan City have, fair to say, butchered a couple of chances. Is that too harsh?
I'm surprised with Abbott. You would have put your house on a couple of these chances that he's had.
Well, his touch more than anything.
Yeah.
I mean, for that one where he ran it into the goalkeeper.
Chances are he'll still bag himself a hat-trick.
Probably score an overhead kick off this corner.
Yeah.
Namoski to take it into the penalty area. Guerrero jumps. Blazewski challenges Southam. Tokic with the first hit and the second. Shouts for handball. Tokic again. Huge amount of shouts. That one's down towards the river.
No.
But no penalty for me.
From that sort of distance, even if it has hit someone's hand, there's no... I can't see any sort of intent.
Caught it well enough. Blazewski can't keep it in. A reminder, 5:45 over the road. Strider Park, Panthers Gunners.
Jeez, I'll tell you what though, Samson Carr did a really good job to get back and win that corner when Blazewski had broken through.
He's quick across the ground, isn't he?
Yep, they both did really well, and two good young players.
Two of the tallest fullbacks you will see in Samson Carr and Noah Steinacker. Helped on by Tedeschi, Tokic, who might be taller than both of them, to be fair.
Oh, pretty good, all right.
Whitehead gets a free kick and then goes long for Hegney, who's stayed on side. Cooper Hegney,
That's what
great challenge, Vanderpoel.
It's a good first touch from Hegney as well. But yeah, very good defensively. Here's a chance here, they break. Oh,
Savkovic took it off Abbott's foot as he
there's
wanted
still a chance.
wanted to put Blazewski clear.
Namoski's in a good spot here.
Here is Blazewski. Two to hit in the middle. Abbott was one of them. Namoski's clear. And that's good goalkeeping, Gabe Sarazi. It just would not sit. Would not come down.
Took forever to get to Misko. I think maybe he had his time again. He would have ran towards it, but you can see what he's trying to do.
And now goes Whitehead. Tokic will be lucky to escape sanction for that, and he won't.
I'll tell you what, Miyashu is lucky that Tokic is the one getting the yellow card, because he's kicked the ball away and he's on a yellow.
Smashed it away, didn't he?
Yeah.
But again, Blazewski causing all sorts of problems down that flank, the young winger.
And he picked the right pass, just didn't have the pace on it. If that
As you said, Namoski needed to attack it, didn't he?
But any sort of pace, he headers that, you know. But yeah, he had to Misko probably had to come towards that. But Tarazi's done well since his first mistake early in the game.
Well, he made up his mind early. He was going to go and get it no matter what, and he did. Bailey. It's a good feel to this. You don't know who's going to win. Magic.
I think there's definitely goals left.
Magic's trodden on it. And then come in with a tackle on Charlie Ray. Savkovic isn't going to be allowed to go. Nathan Magic's going to get himself a yellow card. His third yellow card of the season to go with the red he received. Teetering on the edge of another suspension. I think it's 4 this year. Maybe is it 4 or 5 for a suspension?
I think
Probably
it's 4.
Yeah.
But was the first one 2 yellows?
And then he's got the red doesn't count with the yellows. This will be his third yellow.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. It was 2 yellows.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was straight red. For foul. But he's on 3 yellows irrespective of that red card.
Yeah.
I don't count the yellows.
That's correct.
In addition, because no thanks. It's almost like I've done this before.
Well, you know.
Van der Poel. Do you know what? Some people would.
Well, I've heard many different things from many different people.
Guerrero up in the air. Savkovic. Mirbiashi. Leverett. There was a time when I would have believed that home advantage didn't really count in Canberra football. However, having come here and seen Queanbeyan, they're a different side here than they are away from home.
I'll give you another observation that I'm sort of making just watching this game.
Come back to it in a second as Blazewski has skipped past Steinacker. Really good recovery by Whitehead.
I actually think the time in Capital League has really hardened Queanbeyan City to these games. Like, I think like Russ, you probably watched a fair bit of Capital League as well. It's sometimes not pretty, but it's a blood and guts, and it's going to war with 10 other players just to get a result. And sometimes it's not pretty, and it's a battle, and it's a contest, and each individual has to win those contests. And I'll tell you what, this is what Queanbeyan City are actually doing at the moment. Guerrero's on the ground there, but throwing himself at balls to make sure that nothing's getting through. It's holding them in very good stead. And I'll tell you, full credit to Goran as well as coach of Queanbeyan City. This would not be an easy gig, and the expectations on him last year would have been massive. Now to get here and actually, not just compete, but they're doing very, very well. And against sides that you would have expected to probably beat them and beat them handsomely. Mate, hats off to Queanbeyan City and their coaching staff as well.
Mishka Namoski dragged for missing that chance. No, taken off.
And Van der Poel's moved forward.
Yeah, Gabe Ayul's come on at fullback. Van der Poel into that forward running. I've just had a message of a friend of mine saying he's watching the game. He's waiting for more than 3 passes to be strung together. It's a bit harsh, isn't it? Tigers had a few in the first half. Second half's been very scrappy, but it has been the kind of game that Queanbeyan City wanted to make it. Carr, Pitkin, gives it away. Steinacker, Taneski. And Steinacker off on a rampage down that left flank. Leverett's come back to meet him, and now Blazewski can take it in the opposite direction. Mirbiashi, Leverett again. Bounces off to Abbots, Savkovic. Van der Poel's taking up a great position again this near side. Yep. Blazewski, Abbots. Savkovic.
Ray was in a good spot before.
Ray, gee. Cooper Heagney came in on the blind side of Charlie Ray and flattened him to win the football. Nothing wrong with the challenge.
I think the young man might want to go down next interval, next time the ball goes out and get checked out there, because that would have...
He's just picked himself up and got on with it.
He has, but he's picked himself up holding his head, Russ, and that's never a good sign.
He's on. Abbott's flag stays down. Nico Abbott, angle prohibitive. Good save, Tarazi again. Palms it away, but Nico Abbott once more with another chance.
Yeah, and that's one that he actually caught really well. Yeah, he's just having a look at Ray. He's obviously feeling the effect. Like, that was blindside to come through.
Caught him on the side of the head, didn't he?
It definitely did. It definitely did. And credit to him for getting himself up and into the game again. But interesting here that Queanbeyan City are keeping 4 back.
There's 2 up, isn't there? Alberto and Taneski. Abbott with the corner kick. In towards
Ayul.
Guerrero. Gabe Ayul just off the bench. Well, there is a reason that Gabe Ayul's only scored 1 Premier League goal. It's not really his bread and butter, is it?
No.
More used to the defensive aspects of the game. Very watchable football match here. O'Connor Knights have scored again. They have a 5th. Knights 5, Ugali 1. Ugali getting a touch-up at Hawker. How about the O'Connor Knights form?
Yeah, pick that.
Well, they've won 2 football matches this year. 6-0, against Queanbeyan City,
it's not even
and
that.
they're 5-1 up against Ugali.
It's them losing to Gungahlin last week that, that and then bouncing back against. I thought Ugali were excellent last week against Tigers.
Well, they missed a penalty, didn't they, last week? Jenna Cheruti's spot kick was saved at 0-0. Had that gone in, maybe it's a different story. Alberto. But they found their goal-scoring feat today.
There's a really good contest going out on that left-hand side, or that far side, Russ, I should say. Leverett and Steinacker, they're both fullbacks, but they've come up against each other a few different times, and it's pretty willing.
Vanderpool.
Magic's on a yellow, he wants to be careful.
Magic. Taneski, good turn. Trying to create a space to get the shot away. Nick Taneski
Didn't
just
want to
did
use
too
his
much
left
in the
foot.
end. No.
His first turn was brilliant. Abbott's lost it again, unfortunately. Ooh.
Caught late, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's left one in on Magic.
Saw one. Heagney just prod it in.
Good ball.
Sorry, Carr to prod it into Heagney. Nowhere to go. Bailey back for Whitehead. Taneski. Alberto. Flag goes up. I can tell you, Lukman Ahmed Shaibu has a hat-trick for O'Connor Knights.
I think Nico Abbott's in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, he's going to get a yellow card for the foul.
On Magic.
Yeah. A treble for Lukman Ahmed Shaibu. Finally found his goal-scoring feat for the O'Connor Knights.
Yeah, and they need that. That would have been a pretty, I would imagine, would have been a pretty hefty investment on Lukman.
Yeah, it wouldn't come cheap. That's going to be Nico Abbott's last chance, last contribution. Samuel Abbott is going to come on. Abbott, who scored, might have had a couple of others. Been replaced by a player who scored both goals in the defeat in the under-23s before this game. I'm a fan of putting players on the bench if you're looking for substitutes, Frank, who scored goals in the previous game, because confidence will be high if you're going to go down that route of playing players who've already played. He can be a handful, Abbott.
Yeah, I was impressed with him when I saw him a couple of weeks ago, yes.
Guerrero. Taneski with him. That should be a foul. Nick Taneski. No need for Noah Vanderpool to get involved, really.
He didn't do much, though.
No,
he
didn't.
Fair.
He didn't. Nick Taneski didn't do an awful lot other than the foul, though, did he? It looked worse than what it was, I think. I'm not even sure it's a yellow card offence, Frank, to be honest.
I reckon it is.
It's a foul.
Yeah.
We will see. I think Georgia Girardel's got this under control anyway. Nick Taneski's walked away from the scene, which obviously suggests it might be a card, because he knows it is.
Well, he might get away with this.
Well, I actually thought, like I said, I didn't think it was overly harsh, but he's going to get his yellow cards. It was Noel Guerrero who went down.
I was thinking at half-time, it was a pretty willing game, but there wasn't a card shown. I think we've seen almost half a dozen in this second half.
Exactly that. Magic, Alberto Taneski on one side, Tokic, Miyabiyashi, Abbott on the other. 3-3 on cards.
You might get your 4-all. Won't be
interesting cards.
Yeah.
Well, 5 is a fine, isn't it? Marko Savkovic is keen to get this in the area.
Where does Vanderpool go from here? Is he a chance?
Not with that one. It's in towards Abba. Tarazi came through the crowd. He flattens Angus Bailey. Heagney.
There's no one there.
Crossing practice.
Yeah.
One to chase for Taneski.
He's won that. I reckon he's won the throw. Oh, I tell you, Taneski did really well because it actually flicked up off his heel and hit Ayul.
Vanderpool runs into a crowd.
Noah's got to keep his temper in check here.
Carr for Alberto. Guerrero goes to ground early. Comes away with the ball.
He's just giving
Alberto's won it back. Samson Carr.
Great
turn by Bailey. And good stop by Middleton. Alberto. Well, that's clever from Guerrero. Just left his leg there for Alberto to run into.
This is a conversation I've had with my kids as well, especially strikers in the box can really throw themselves about. Worst that can happen is they get a free kick in there. But if they win it, as opposed to, say, a defender who gives away a penalty for throwing themselves about in a yeah. And it's very hard to defend because you've got someone who's really coming at you at pace.
But that was wily defending from Guerrero, wasn't it? He just saw Alberto coming, stuck his leg out and just wore the tackle.
Let's not underestimate the opportunity that Angus Bailey just had to give him the lead. That was massive.
Best chance of the second half of the Tigers, you would say. Abba helps it on. Blazewski to use his pace and put Steinacher under trouble, but he does brilliantly well.
Yeah, talking about good defending. There's an example there.
Higgity. Pitkin. He's lost out.
I love how Queanbeyan City
Blazewski.
Queanbeyan City really attack and hunt in numbers, don't they, Russ?
Charlie Ray lost out to Magic. It's an entertaining game, isn't it? Because you don't know which way it's going. It's bubbling along as well. There's a challenge coming here that's going to kick it off, isn't it?
I'll tell you now, there's a couple I'm watching. There's Magic, there's Savkovic, there's Van der Poel, there's Tedeschi and Guerrero. Keep your eye on all these because something's gonna bubble over. And
some might say the usual suspects.
Yeah, but I think you're starting to see there's a rivalry starting to build here.
Higney looking to take on Leverett. Tokic stands firm and sends it away. Well, what have we got left? It's a quarter of an hour to go. Who is going to come away with the points, if anyone? O'Connor Knights doing themselves a big favour. They're going to go on to 7 points, and their goal difference is down to -2 now, which puts them into 4th place, believe it or not, Frank. And here's a chance for Abba into the middle. Van der Poel, well, he was inches away from getting hold of that.
Great ball.
Bailey. Tedeschi in behind. Guerrero comes across. Well, yeah,
not there.
I lost out. It's Angus Bailey. Oh dear, a mistake by Queanbeyan City. Punished to the max by Angus Bailey. He missed a chance a moment ago. He wasn't going to pass up that one. And Tigers are in front.
Big mistake there from Ayul. They've actually played themselves out of trouble there. Sevkovic has played it to him, and he's almost tried like that little Maradona-type turn at the edge of his box, and Bailey's pinched it, and what a finish. Top corner, no chance there for Middleton. This game's got a lot to go, though. This is going to be a great watch, Ross.
A mistake by City, punished by Tigers. And Bailey curls home. His first league goal of the season. His first goal since the grand final, scored in similar circumstances, but a lot further out.
That was some goal, wasn't it?
It was a corker. And it's a goal which, as we stand, puts Tigers top of the table. And they have ridden their luck in the second half. The chances have been Queanbeyan City's.
I was about to say, 30 seconds earlier, Van der Poel's just inches away from getting something on the end of a cross.
Ayul, Van der Poel offside. It's amazing how a league season can change, Frank. I was looking at the table. Connor Knights win today with -2, 7 points. They will be 4th from 8th going into the game this evening. How remarkable is that? Savkovic and Magic.
This is going to be a great watch.
Neither of those players take a backward step. Blazewski, Queanbeyan City, we were wondering how they're not at least level. Savkovic, Van der Poel, he is onside. Tarazi's come to meet him. It's Noah Van der Poel. It's across the goal, and there's no one in a red shirt. Noah Steinacher away. Higney And how about Noah van der Poel staying on his feet?
I know. You just wonder, like, if a Nico Abbott was on the field then, does he get that vital touch?
I'm wondering if Noah van der Poel might have thought about looking for contact. I'm glad he didn't. So close. But once again, you class that one as a half chance. But another chance nonetheless. Pitkin just whacks it away. Queanbeyan City have had so many opportunities. Blazewski's had a great game, hasn't he? Again, buzzing with confidence against his former employers.
Abba's he's got to start getting off his heels and on his toes and start looking for the ball. He's waiting for things to happen.
Bailey, Whitehead. Higney won't get there. Ayul will. Read it a mile off Gabe Ayul. Looking for Abba on the far post. And then over the head of him and Blazewski. Well, Frank Asia, 11 minutes to go. If it stays this way, and it might not, Queanbeyan City will be probably thinking tonight how this one's got away.
Oh, well, the first place you look is in the mirror, and I'll tell you now, they've created enough chances to win this game. Tigers have really withstood a lot of pressure. And they've done really, really well with the players they've got out. So Queanbeyan City can't be looking for excuses. They've got to be looking at how do they get themselves out of this. And if they don't, then it's one that got away for them.
Miyabiashi spreads it wide for Leverett. One of the return ball, not forthcoming. Pitkin hounded and chased by two City players. It's come off Leverett. Miyabiashi, Abba. Miyabiashi. Free kick goes the way of Queanbeyan City.
There's a late one as well.
They're not going to die wandering out there, are they? I did ask the question on Wednesday, Frank, as you do. Would you settle for a cup final place and lose the league game? Or would you rather get the 3 points and not the cup final space?
Hindsight's a great thing, Russ. And I'll tell you now, when I was at Monero in that first year, we lost to Tigers in the cup final here, the playoff here in Canberra. I think that's when our team came of age. I think that actually made us realise that we belong on that stage, and that probably gave us enough impetus for the following season to do what we did. So I think there's no price that you can put on the experience of these guys playing in a cup final in a few weeks' time.
Van der Poel with the free kick. Everyone, bar Miyabiashi and Savkovic, in and around the penalty area. Van der Poel in to the near post. Tarazi elects to punch. It's a good idea.
Yeah, great idea.
Taneski away. And the chase for Samson Carr. He won't get there. But Gabe Tarazi, after that early mistake.
No, it's Taneski.
That early mistake from Tarazi, which wasn't his fault. It was a ball from Pitkin played at his chest. Yeah. He's really recovered well and shown why he's one of the best young goalkeepers in the town. Nick Taneski. Is he about to join the list of the walking wounded? Next week's team selection meeting against Monero Panthers for Ali Effie might be... Well,
might be Mourinho, like 25 coins up in the air, and whatever lands on the table, they're the ones that play.
Who's available? Nick Taneski.
And he is off.
Is gone. Angus Wales comes on. Noah Steinacker giving the captain's armband. Angus Wales will come to right back, it looks like. Wins the header, first touch. Good one too. Ayul goes long. Southam creates the 50-50, but it's out of play. Well, that's the bench, apart from the goalkeeper. Gabe Ayul's got a long throw.
Look at this.
Chasing an equaliser.
Frantic at the moment. There's one-on-one at the back here for Queanbeyan City.
Ayul launches it into Esguero. It's come off of Magic. Steinacker's nodded it back into the danger area. Tokic got there but couldn't keep it in play. Goodness me. Don't know where to look at the moment.
Needed to make more of that, Tokic. Just keep it in the field of play.
7 to play, I think.
Yeah, I've got 7 plus whatever. I reckon you got about 10 minutes to go, Ross.
Gabe Tarazi with the goal kick. Queanbeyan 1, Tigers 2. City having wasted numerous chances at the start of the second half to get themselves the lead. Now chasing a goal for a point. Carr forward. Heagney will chase. Middleton away. Only as far as Whitehead, who has a look with the keeper off his line. It's Shandon Whitehead. It wasn't far away. Accuracy was good.
Yep, I like it. It's a great effort.
There will be chances for
and as much as we
Tigers,
see,
I think.
As much as you say this might be one that Queanbeyan City look back on and think it's one that got away. If Tigers walk away with 3 points from here, that's
it's huge.
That's a bonus for them. Like, it's massive with the players they've got out. Like, it could be a real turning point of their season. Another one, because I would have thought after they beat Canberra Croatia, I thought they really had some momentum building.
The league title brings with it extra rewards this year as well, doesn't it?
It does.
A place in the national second-tier competition. Matches against Preston Lions, Avondale and the New South Wales NPL League champions. 3 huge home games, 3 massive away fixtures. Draw wasn't kind, was it?
No, it could have been a lot easier.
Although Preston Lions, Macedonian club of some repute themselves, did get beat by Whittlesea Zebras in their Australia Cup qualifying.
Yeah, I also saw them beat was it South Melbourne.
South Melbourne are in real
They're in trouble
this
year. They are real trouble.
They're playing Melbourne Knights, I think, this weekend, and both clubs are in real trouble at the bottom half of the table. You wouldn't have thought that would be a relegation battle, would you? Melbourne Knights against South Melbourne.
Well, I know South Melbourne basically swapped coaches. Like, they basically sacked their coach a few weeks ago and brought in a new one that had been at the club previously. And I think they won straight away, so you've got that new coach bounce happening. But yeah, not one that you expected to see.
Alberto through the challenge of Guerrero. Whitehead heading to the corner, not by time wasting, to win a free kick.
There's one of the kids' balls has come onto the pitch, and it's
just
just on the edge there. And I would have thought the linesman might have kicked it away a few minutes ago when he had the opportunity.
Well, someone can. Where's Vasco Petrovski? He's usually the man that jumps over. He's gone home actually, I think, today. Usually the man jumps over and gets it. Tigers sending Nathan Medjic back.
Yep.
They've got 2 in the box here.
Keep what they've got.
I don't think this is going in the penalty area, is it? Heagney and Bailey are in there. 2 over the ball.
Well, is it Wales going forward?
He's going to join them now. And Shannon Whitehead's taking it to the corner.
They've probably got
4 minutes.
Well, 4 minutes of normal time plus whatever. So, a long time to be doing this sort of stuff.
Going to sound churlish now, but Tottenham are doing this from about the 47th minute on Thursday morning. Worked for them.
I haven't mentioned it.
Samson Carr has a hit.
Oh, he got onto that too.
Just goes to show you don't have to play football to win a football match.
Oh, especially in a one-off, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know that.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Which is why Queanbeyan City's cup final against Canberra Croatia is not the foregone conclusion that it may appear.
Very timely challenge.
Alberto nodded away by O. Sorry, Frank.
Really timely challenge there from Steinacker on Vanderpoel. They had players going forward. Queanbeyan City.
Now Guerrero, can he spark something from his team?
Do you think the Abbott substitution was just tiredness after the big game on the midweek?
Well, he usually only plays about 60 minutes these days.
Okay.
He is approaching 40 years of age. He usually has about 60, 65 in him. depending on the occasion. And yeah, he's played a full part on Wednesday.
Oh, it could have gone
on
anyway.
Tuesday even. It's full time at Hawker. O'Connor Knights 5, Ugali 1. Big win for O'Connor Knights. Guerrero with a challenge on Alberto. Referee says it's okay.
Got away with one there, I reckon.
Christian Tokic finds Marko Savkovic.
Alberto's got to get up here. It's his first game of first grade.
I don't know how many minutes he played in the 23s, but I'm sure he's feeling it.
Yep.
And there's the ball gone for you. Casey Fleo did the job, mate.
Yeah, good.
Savkovic wants a hit from a mile out. Tarazi behind it. 90 seconds plus stoppage time. Shandon Whitehead, the latest to go down. There's no subs left. Only William Lejeune, but it's just a bit of time wasting, I think, and a bit of cramp for Shandon Whitehead. I think he'll be okay.
Be interesting to see the reaction on social media after if this result stays the same. I think there was a fair bit going towards the Tigers after Tuesday night, Russ.
Yeah, there might be a fair bit coming back their way.
But isn't it good to see people talking about the local game? You know, whether it's social media, and you would have seen as much as I would have as that new presence on Instagram. Is it National Capital NY Youth, NPL Youth? They're even advertising your Pokemon call out.
I saw that.
Yeah, how good's that? But some really interesting comments around like school selections for rep teams and all sorts of stuff. But it's good that we've got people actually talking about local content.
Noah Vanderpoel's been replaced by Michael Galich, who's gone into central defence there. Yeah, lots of content.
Oh, first challenge is willing.
Get involved, Michael Galich, why don't you? Yeah, I was just on the lookout for some Pokemon cards, absolutely.
So it's not you, is it, Russ?
No, I use them. I actually use them because my kid's getting involved.
No, I mean, I'm looking after that account.
Oh, no, it's not me. No, that's not me. I've got barely time to look after my own account. Yeah. And everything else that goes around football in Canberra. Alberto. No one knows who it is. It's the Scarlet Pimpernel.
A bit of Bridgerton happening.
Big lead by Southam. Carr playing centrally now. Bailey, whose goal is the difference. Samson Carr whips that one in. It's got some good whip on it, but not enough bend to find it where it needs to be. We played 36 seconds of stoppage time.
Do we know what we're adding on?
We don't, because there's nobody with a fourth official today.
No signal?
No signal from Casey. I didn't give him the heads up, to be honest, today either. So. Won by Angus Wales.
It's a silly foul to give away.
But it's gone the way of the Tigers, and it will help them eat up a few more seconds as they edge towards the 3 points that will take them top of the table. Not their best performance of the season by any stretch of the imagination, but enough. Enough, and that often is the way when you're chasing for titles, Frank.
I tell you what, Magic's game management here is really testing the patience of Queanbeyan City. He could even just turn back and give this to Southam.
He might well. He's lifted it to the corner. Not his most accurate pass. Savkovic, great challenge, Alberto. Whitehead, space for Carr.
Don't get caught.
He has done. He's stretched a long limb out to win it.
Magic out of position here.
Charged down by Alberto. Galich needs to go and collect. Goal kick. Queanbeyan City in ultra hurry-up mode. I just said I use the Pokemon cards as a chore treat.
As a what?
A chore treat.
Oh.
So kids help with the chores, they get a Pokemon card. I mean, it works. I do all the chores there, so I've got all the cards. Abba's header. Steinacker up into the sky.
It's getting dark here.
Ayul swings the tired leg at it. Savkovic got there. Higley copped one in the face, I think.
He might have got a poke in the eye or something.
Leverett with Bailey. When they needed a piece of class, Angus Bailey provided it. Got lucky with the mistake, but goodness me, finished it well.
Yep, and swings and roundabouts. I mean, Tigers conceded their first goal from a mistake at the back, and Queanbeyan City conceded their second goal from a mistake as well.
They often say football gives and it takes away. Sometimes it takes away a lot more than it gives, depending on who you support.
But this will be such a shot in the arm if Tigers hold on, because, as we've said, with the players they've had out, to get a result when no one else has been able to get a result here at High Street, I think Ali Effie will be walking around pretty proud of himself and his team.
As I said, Frank,
at the end of today,
it's not always about a performance, is it? It's just about getting over the line and getting a result. There's ways to win football matches.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, you've got young guys that are coming off the bench who now know what it takes to win a game in first grade.
Still haven't got it done just yet. Guerrero. One back by Carr. Excellent work. Magic. That's an intelligent ball.
Yep.
Because it's invited Bailey down, and all Everett can do is get rid of it like that and give the ball straight back to those in purple.
Yeah, shown a lot of good leadership again, Nathan Magic, today.
It was his penalty on Tuesday that was saved by Middleton. Some players might have crumbled under the pressure of coming to the venue of the team that knocked you out, having been the one to miss, but not Nathan Magic. He thrives on this kind of occasion. And he's going to go away with his team with a vital 3 points, Frank Asia.
Yeah, big performance. A lot of character showing there from Tigers and Ali Effie and his side. Really up against it with the players they had out. Lost a couple of other players during the game, but really dug in and withheld a lot of pressure. We stood a lot of pressure there from Queanbeyan City, who have really proven themselves at this level again, Russ. I think that even though they've walked away with no points today, they've underlined that they belong here, and the job that Goran's done with this group of players is really starting to show, and they're no pushovers. They're a very good side, and they're here to stay.
Thanks very much, Frank Casio. A slice of redemption for Tigers FC, perhaps. They win behind. Nico Abbott's got in the 8th minute, but strikes from Nikos Kalfas to level the scores, and then Angus Bailey off the bench to win it with 14 minutes left. Give Tigers the victory. Make sure you tune in about an hour or so, or 45 minutes for Panthers Gunners. We're just going to walk over there for that one. But at full-time, High Street, Queanbeyan City 1, Tigers 2.